I had a wonderful grandmother, full of faith. She was a woman of faith, like dynamic, like unheard of faith. And all my life, when someone mistreated me, and yes, I was very mistreated as a child, or if someone, had done me wrong, someone had lied on me, someone had given me an injustice, I remember I would tell my grandmother about it, and these words would drive me insane. Every time I told my grandmother about something wrong in my life that someone might have done to me, here's what she would say. Oh, and I hated it because I knew it was coming every time. Well, let's just turn it over to the Lord. Man, that's the last thing I wanted to hear was let's turn it over to the Lord. But the older I've gotten and the closer I get to the grave, the more I realize wisdom that was in her words, turn it over to the Lord. So I want to talk to you about that. How do we turn it over to the Lord? It's a cute little cliche, turn it over to the Lord, but how do we do that? Honestly, practically, how do we do that? I'd like to help you with that by explaining it in a way that maybe you've never thought of before. Right now, if someone does you an injustice, maybe someone kills somebody that you love dearly, well, you're not allowed to seek vengeance on your own. And why is that? Because you're going to be operating from a place of emotions. And you're going to go after someone, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. And you're going to do it out of emotions instead of reasonable thinking, instead of fairness. So what do you have to do? The reason our society doesn't allow vigilantism, we don't allow our citizens to take matters into their own hands. Because if somebody shoots someone you love, you'll take a gun and just go shoot anybody you think that did it. Right? In other words, you're in a state of emotions. All you're seeing is a blur. So our society has provided a way for you to get justice, get your revenge by turning it over to the district attorney. When someone does you wrong, they break in your house, they steal something, you're not allowed to go shoot those people. Why? That's not justice. That is revenge. What we must learn to do is just like we do in natural life. We go down to the district attorney's office and we turn it over to the district attorney. We unburden ourselves of the necessity to seek revenge. And we literally allow the district attorney to become our attorney. We trust that they're going to bring justice without emotions. They're just going to look for the facts, and we trust them. We come and unburden our soul to them. We tell them our story, what was done to us, and we leave it there. We don't leave the district attorney's office and ride up and down the roads trying to find the killer, trying to find the person that broke in our house. That turns into chaos, and that's exactly what your life becomes when you think vengeance is yours. Because the problem is, brothers and sisters, when you get involved, you mess everything up. You have to learn to go down to the district attorney's office. Yahweh. You have to go down to the altar. And you have to tell him everything done wrong to you. Unload it. Get it off of your chest. Get it out of your mind. And then, as the old gospel song says, leave it there. If you pick it back up, if you take it back home with you, if you hold it in your heart, it will drive you insane. Many of you need to go to a place called moveon.org. You need to move on, because if you truly trust the Lord, and that is the foundation of it all. Now, you can't turn it over to the Lord if you don't believe in the Lord. The fundamental is faith. You have to believe that God is a God of justice. You have to believe that your heavenly Father knows every hair on your head. The Bible said he's got them numbered. For some of you, that's a lot easier than me. You have to trust that. You have to know that your Father in heaven sees every sparrow that falls. Now, if you don't believe that, you're going to have to get on Valiums. You're going to have to get on antidepressants. You're going to be so angry all the time at what everybody's getting away with, what they've done to you. You're going to literally be a bitter old hag all the days of your life. You're going to be mad at the world. Why? All the injustices of this world. Things that people have done to you, and they've gotten by with it. The problem is, you didn't leave it at the district attorney's office. Your relationship with Yahweh is built on something called trust. Not just you learning to trust him, but him trusting you, that you're going to leave it in his care. Now, that is not easy for humans to do. But you have a district attorney that sees everything. You have a district attorney that nothing is hidden from him whatsoever. You have a district attorney that knows the end from the beginning. He knows everything they've done to you. And you, my friend, have to leave it there. If you pick it back up, it's yours. You will have to bring and balance the scales. You will be responsible for making this wrong right. And my friend, that's going to turn into a mess for everybody. But if you will trust in the sovereignty of God, if you will leave it there, if you will place it into his care, tell him, Heavenly Father, Yahweh, I commit into your care. I hire you to be my attorney, to fight my cause, to send your angelic warriors to do what they do best. Because, Father, if I handle this, I'm going to destroy everything I love, everything I've built. I cannot do it. I'm leaving it at the altar. Either you do it, Father, or it does not get done. If you believe in that kind of God, how could you not leave it there? Leave it there and think not again about it. Let it go. People's done you wrong. Let it go. Otherwise, you'll become so bitter. You'll become a recluse. You'll become antisocial. You'll want nothing to do with humanity. You'll become one of them bitter old cat ladies that you see in the movies. And I ain't got nothing against you cat ladies now. I love cat ladies. But you know what I'm talking about. You'll basically become a witch. Oh, yes. If you do not learn to leave it at the altar, you will become a witch. Now, what do I mean by that? Very simple. Do you know what witchcraft is? Do you know what witchcraft is? Primarily, it's rebellion. But let me break it down for you. In witchcraft, the concept of letting God handle it is foreign. That idea to them is asinine. That's why they have spells to take matters into their own hands, and then they pray their prayers. That's what a spell is. It's a prayer to their goddesses and their gods. A spell is a prayer. And the purpose of the spell is to do what? To take control of a situation. Someone's done you wrong, we cast a spell. Well, in Christianity, we call that prayer. They're no different. It's witchcraft prayers where you're not truly giving it to the Lord, to His best knowledge, His best wisdom, to work it out how He wants to work it out. No, you tell Him how to work it out. That's a witchcraft prayer. Witchcraft is to change circumstances, whereas prayer is to change me. To seek not my own. To be willing to take the wrong. To be willing to suffer for the cause of Christ. Oh, but I go to some of these churches and I hear them pray. They're praying, God's going to stop my enemies, and God's fixing to strike down, and God's going to do this. Quit telling God what to do. You have not left it with Him if you're still telling Him how to do it. Let it go. Truly, it's that simple. Let it go. Father, I trust you today that let me tell you what true faith is before I leave you today. Very few people know what true faith is. And very few people have true faith. What is true faith? The ability to trust that when Yahweh is finished working it out, He will do it in a way that is best for everyone involved, not just you. That's true faith. You may not have it, but if you don't, the Bible said you can ask the Heavenly Father right now for the gift of faith, just like you can ask Him for the gift of tongues, the gift of wisdom, that you can ask your Father for the gift of faith. And the Bible said if you ask Him for a stone, for bread, He won't give you stone. Do you need more faith today? Stop what you're doing. Ask Yahweh, your Heavenly Father, to grant you the gift of faith, to believe that He loves you, that He truly cares for you. Have a wonderful day.